Good morning, everybody. We have just a huge amount of things going on today, so we're just going to show you a few of the things that we're doing today. We have been, seems like, having a difficult time doing videos. We've just got so much work to do. It's hard to do videos plus all of our work. But anyways, today I went to the woods this morning for a little while with Lady and Bill, and now I have to go and move the chicken coop another 18 feet farther. And we had a video of the chicken coop the other day, if you want to go back to that, if you missed that, where we used a team of horses then. But anyways, we want to do that. Yesterday I logged with the blacks, and I have brand new shoes on the horses, and I lost one. And I'll talk about that, and even probably show you me throwing that shoe back on Ken. And then we have hay to mow, so it's going to be a busy day. So let's get at getting this chicken coop moved.
We've had a request for more shots of Bill, so here's Billy. William. Probably not that happy being split up from Lady, but he'll be all right.
Okay, so I'm going to use a single horse today to do this tiny little job. Generally, when you use a single horse, you want to have two long lines on to drive this horse. Well, today, and I've been working as a team, so I don't want to take the time to put on the long lines for a single horse. So I'm going to do it a little bit different. I got a couple different options I could do. I could just lead him up to the chicken coop and just lead him out with the load. But what I want to do today instead is use a team line to drive a single horse. So let's just go at it, and I'll show you how I mean. So I'll just start by leading him a little ways. Come in. So when I first started logging with my father, I did a lot of skidding with a single horse. And we never used long lines, we just used the team lines. So one of the reasons we just use a team line is quite often we would just have two horses, and we go into the woods quite often with a sled, my scoot that I've shown before, and we'd pull into the place for logging and stop, unhitch one of the horses, and then go out and skid the logs in and then roll them onto the sled and come home, hitch the horses back together and come home. Well, the problem with that is we didn't want to swap lines back and forth all the time. So when I did all the skidding, which that was my job, quite often I would just lead the horse to the log like this, and a lot of times it's just a narrow path, so there's not a lot of room in between the trees. And sometime I hope to actually skid with a single horse and show you how I do it, and it'll be a little bit more clearer for you. But when I got to the log itself, I would stop the horse with his head here. A lot of times I'd put the chain on the log right in front of me, and then to turn the horse around and to drive him out again, I would slide back here like this, and I would actually put my hand down and just use the long part of the team lines. And our whipple trees always had a ring on it and a hook on it like this, and then so I grabbed this, and then I'd ask him to turn around, and I always turn around the same way. I almost always would haul him around. Oops. Oh. So I'd slide the lines over here so I have more pressure on that left bit. And I'd haul him around. Oh. And then all I'd have to do is back them in, and sometimes I'd adjust this a little bit so I can have a little more of the control I want. Oh. I just remembered I took the crooper off. I took the crooper off when I came home from the woods because I was going to be all done working with them, but then I realized I got to do this. So anyways, I would grab my hook like this and tell him to back up. Oh. Then when I get what I wanted, the horse was generally good, so I could actually drop my line and real quick hitch onto the chain. And then I'd come up here and I would do one of two things. A lot of times the horses, when I was skidding logs, I would just let them go by themselves. But if I had a horse that wasn't quite ready to do it that way, I would stand right beside him like this, drive it just like this, so I have really short lines up here. This might sound like a dangerous way to do it, but you're actually right close to the horse between his front and hind legs, and it's a pretty safe spot to be. Anytime when you're skidding with a single horse, it's a little bit dangerous, and I don't really like to do skidding with a single horse. But this way was actually a pretty good way. And so I asked him to go, and we just drove out like this. Kept careful. So I just driving just like this. Oh. And he'd get quite used to me being right next to his body, and it was no big deal at all. So when I got up landing, I'd unhitch, and then I'd just leave him right back in to the next hitch. So that just gives you an idea, and sometimes I would like to be able to go in the woods and skid with a single horse, even if it's just to show you how I do it. But for today, we have to skid this. And all we need to do is take 18 feet, because the whole building is 18 feet long. Oh, we have to be a little bit careful here because we get some stuff here we got to actually watch out for. I'm assuming you want me to save that.
No.
Oh.
Don't worry about it.
Oh. So I'm going to swing them all the way around. Okay. My lines just aren't not adjusted quite right. There. Oh. Okay, so I have them all lined up. And then I'm just going to take my hook, drop it into the length like that. A little bit. Before I go, we also did put the chickens in the actual building so they don't get dragged in case he was to go too fast and they were closed. So Brenda, if I don't, I'll try and stop him, but you tell me when I need to stop.
Okay. Whoa! That wasn't very hard, was it?
No.
Was it hard, Billy? No, I didn't look at it all. We went a little over. I should have told you a little sooner, but
so
I can show everybody.
Simple job done.
Yeah.
Although the house and the whole shed is kind of leaning pretty good because it's on a bit of a hill there, but who cares?
Yeah. They're gonna have to adjust. So here's where they were. Our grandsons were here the other day, and they had more fun smashing up the corn and throwing it into the chickens. So the remnants are still here, and the guineas have been going behind and cleaning up. And the guineas also have made. Here's the edge of the coop, but they walk back and forth by the chickens a lot, and so they're kind of making more of an area too. I'll show you inside here. You ready to go out? And speaking of the grandsons, while they were here the other day visiting, we found a little surprise, and we want to share that with you today.
Little buddy, Ike, don't hold him on the neck. I got you so I can. He's holding him on the neck.
Try not to hold him on the neck.
I have to so I can get him.
You got it, good. We have our grandchildren here with us today, 2 of them. We have James and Isaac. And they've come to visit us for a couple days here on the farm. And lo and behold, they went out to help Papa feed the horses this morning. And this is the first time we have any sight of the kittens yet. This is the first time we've seen Whitey's kittens, and we had to look for them because they kind of ran away, but we've got them corralled in here. Whoops. And the boys are having a good time with them. And Whitey doesn't care. She's sitting over there. She could care less, but and now I can see why Whitey's always hungry and never gains any weight, because she's put it into these kittens. They are plump little furry balls, and they're so cute. James, who do you have there?
Tiger cat.
Tiger cat.
I got both.
And who are they?
Pumpkin and LT.
Which means last tiger. And this right here is a little hissy one. And who's this?
Syrup.
Syrup. Yep.
Oh.
So we've corralled them in this, just for a little bit, into this old watering trough, and the boys are having a ball. So, and I am too, to be honest with you.
No, you're not getting out.
Okay, so here we are with Ken, and like I said, he lost a shoe yesterday, so I logged with him and Buck yesterday, and these shoes we just put on like 3 days ago, brand new shoes. And so often, I think, myself included, have had a situation with a farrier that they put shoes on, and actually it's pretty rare, but it still happens. It's happened to me several times. And just a few days later, a shoe falls off. And so often we can think and blame the farrier for doing that, whereas it's more likely not their fault. They probably had the shoe on good, but so often when you lose a shoe, it's because of kind of extreme situations. Now, probably what happened with Ken is he was turning on the landing up at where I was logging, and probably Buck came over and actually stepped maybe on the heel of the shoe itself. And when that happened, Ken jerked his foot up and pulled the shoe right off. I mean, it's a fairly rare occurrence, but in the woods especially, it's more apt to happen because you end up doing a lot of sidestepping in the woods to be able to get the, to do the job. And so it does happen more often in the woods than it would in the fields. But I guess I'm trying to say is don't holler at your shoer when something like this happens, because more than likely he probably did a fine job putting the shoe on. It's just an extreme thing that happened to make it fall off. Sometimes if you got an old shoe and the nail holes are all too big, it's loose the next day type of thing, that's might be a situation where the shoer could have and should have done a better job, but more than likely it was because you allowed him to use old shoes instead of good shoes. So I guess I'm just trying to give a word to the wise as far as how to handle your shoer and not to complain, because shoers are few and far between, and you want to treat them well. So Eli was the one that put the shoes on for me. I didn't, but I have no problems with what happened. And so I'm going to show you kind of a farmer's way of slapping them back on. And not everybody can even do a farmer's shoeing job, but I've done a lot of shoeing over the years, so it's pretty easy for me to do it. And usually when you lose a shoe this fast, it's really easy to put them back on, and you kind of have to put them right in the same nail holes, and that's okay. Not the best way to do it, but in the circumstances, it's probably the best way to do it. So I'll kind of talk as I go along. It shouldn't take too long to get this done. So, Ken, up here. Up here. So as I have his foot over the spot, I'm going to put this strap, connect this one in, and then take this lead rope, goes over the top. And then I'm just going to take my knife, clean the dirt out of the way, inspect things over, make sure everything's okay. Like I said, it's just 2 or 3 days ago that the job was done, and I highly doubt there's any issues at all. So I'll clean that off, take my rasp, and unfortunately I don't do a lot of shoeing these days, so my equipment isn't the best. But I'm just gonna run out with a rasp, make sure everything's good and clean. Take my shoe, set it in place, and hopefully everything will look good. What I am going to do is I'm going to slide it back just a tiny little bit, and I'm going to take a little bit more off the toe. By sliding it back like that, I'm more apt to get into fresh. It might not be in the same holes that he had it in, which would be good. So, but more than likely, Buck stepped right here to make that shoe pop off. Now, like I said, these are brand new shoes, and sometimes when I get brand new shoes, I will use number 8 nails. Sometimes I'll go right to number 9 nails. But I have some number 8s, so I'm going to use them, and that's what Eli had in here also, which is perfectly fine. So I just usually put them in my mouth, 2 of them, put it up there, get the 2 nails in, and then go from there. Okay, got the nails all in. Never used to put 5 nails on the side, and a lot of people would disagree on this one, and I always thought that it's just too hard on the hoof to do that many nails, but Eli's been doing that for quite a few years for me now, and his shoes have been staying on really good. So it doesn't seem to be an issue. The feet grow so fast. It's just not an issue at all. So now I'm just gonna go through and kind of cut a tiny little path where the nail will be bent over. I've got a crimper that I will use, but more often than not I'll use this tool right here just to tighten the nails up. Put it behind the nail, hit 2-3 times. There's a special tool actually for this, which I don't know if I even have one, but I've been using this for so long. It's bent and it works good. And then I will just crimp it, that's what this is. Just grab the end of the nail and bends it over. I'm sure a lot of you guys that do a lot of your own shoeing so much better than I will be critiquing the way I do it, and that's okay. Never claimed to be a professional, although I did it myself for years and years, and now having Eli, the Amish guy up the road, do it for me, I'm really happy because he does a great job, and it's one less job I gotta do. But I'm also very happy that I know how to do it. So situations like this, I can slap a shoe on. I'm just doing a little cleanup work here. Like I said, this is what most people would just call a farmer's shoeing job. I'm not taking a lot of time to do a really great job. Unfortunately, I don't have to, because it's basically just slapping in where it was just a few hours ago. Anyways, that job is done. Okay. Now we can get them hitched up and go mow some hay.